What's up, guys? Thanks for watching another episode of Two Car Garage. Behind me, we are making our final video of this 1982 Yamaha Virago 920 Cafe Racer build. We have spent so long working on this thing, and as you'll see once we look at the whole bike once it's done, to make a bike with this level of detail just takes time. It just takes a lot of time, especially if this isn't your full-time job, right? So what do we have to do yet in this video? Well, we have our side covers back and they are beautifully polished. So we just have to put new seals in them and put them on. And then our rear sets, our foot controls, hook them up and we're good to go.
You know, I spent a lot of time going back and forth with myself on whether or not to get these side covers polished. I just wasn't sure if it would look good, right? Because it does pop, it does contrast. But boy, am I glad I did. Listen, nothing against black motorcycles, but there's just a lot of black motorcycles out there. I wanted this build to be different, I wanted it to pop, and I wanted it to stand out. And with so many subtle tones and then that polish, it pops, that's for sure.
Now that I'm looking at this, I'm not actually sure how much I like the color choices. I chose this same color as the swing arm so that it would like contrast, tie it together, but I think it pops a little bit too much, especially because we have the black, the polish, the bronze chrome, and then this as well. It's just too much. So here's the vanilla ice cream and here's the bronze chrome. Yeah, I think this looks a lot better. I just think it fits the aesthetic of the bike a lot more with these like subtle tones and then the single pop of the swing arm. Let's go with this.
Before we put the right side cover on, we have to install our clutch. Now, best practice whenever you're installing these friction plates is to soak them in oil, right? You need to really saturate that friction material with oil. However, these are used plates. These are the ones that came out of one of my engines, and I measured for thickness, and they measure great. They're practically brand new, so I'm reusing them. So because they were already in the engine, I'm not soaking them in oil like I normally would with new ones. I'm just coating them lightly in oil, torquing down those retainer bolts and then putting on this cover, and man, it looks awesome.
Let's put some oil in this thing and check for leaks along the way. You really don't want to over tighten these stainless steel Allen bolts on the side covers just because it is steel going in aluminum, so it's really easy to strip. You know, now that there's oil in it, we could actually try to crank this thing just to make sure everything sounds okay. With everything we took apart, I'm honestly a little bit afraid. All right, let's try. Why not? Power in neutral. I'll just start by giving it one little tap. Okay, let's give it one more. Not too bad. Doesn't sound like anything's broken or anything, right? This is so exciting, guys. This thing is like practically together. We have the engine together completely. There's oil in it. It cranks. What do we do next? Well, we've got two things. We have the rear sets, the foot controls, and then the piece de la resistance, the exhaust. What should we do first? Let's do the rear sets first, and I'll treat you guys at the very end with the exhaust, because I haven't shown anybody what this exhaust is. It's gonna blow your freaking mind.
The reason that this looks easy, like I'm just putting this thing together like Legos, is because remember, we spent the last year and a half building this thing, fabricating all our parts, making sure everything works. At this point, we're just putting it all back together, right? So for example, these rear sets took a lot of time to measure, to figure out the positioning, to make sure that they worked, right? And now it's just a matter of putting the arms back on and tightening down these rods.
The rear sets are on and they look sick. I'm really happy with the choices that I made in terms of going with black instead of aluminum. Those rods and positioning them that way, I think it just looks really good. I'm glad that I ponied up the couple extra bucks and went with these nice CNC'd arms instead of just reusing cut down and shaped stock arms here. It's just one more thing that makes it look really nice. This thing is complete minus one important piece, and that is the exhaust. Let's check it out now. And here it is. Check out this amazing stainless steel exhaust. I got it from a company named not a sponsor. They're out of the Netherlands and they specialize in these Virago exhausts. You can customize it, get them to do a few different designs. So you'll see how I had them customize it for my specific build. But look at this. I mean, all stainless steel. Look how nice these TIG welds are. You guys know I have a TIG welder right there. There's the tank of gas. But here's the thing, right? I've done so few of these exhausts that it would take me 5 tries to get it this nice. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get it this nice, period. And even if I got it half as nice, I would spend so much more money on wasting stainless steel that it wouldn't be worth it. So for something like this, I decided just to pony up, buy it, and we're set. You can see how the front cylinder and the back cylinder here collect together into one resonator baffle glass pack type thing here, and then we have the slash cut side exit. You can see how tight this bend has to be. You'll see when we're installing it, that's because the frame is right there with the electrics running through it, so we really need to wrap this around as quickly as possible. Let's get this on and you'll see what I mean.
Look how tight this corner is where the rear cylinder has to come out. I mean, this is what you pay for, folks, to be able to just put it on. It fits perfectly. It looks beautiful. And you can tell that they built and made the exhaust on a Virago engine, right? Not just on a jig.
Well, now that the exhaust is on, there's only 2 more things to do before we start this up, and that is fill up these holes right here with our stickers and decals. First, we need to apply our brand to the tank, and then you're going to see what we named this motorcycle.
And here's our brand. I decided to not even keep this bike a Yamaha, but to name it something completely unique and for me. For those of you that know me personally, you'll know that my name has an association with bees, like think bumblebee, hence Hive. Now, normally this bike is called an XV920 for the Virago 920, and I renamed it LM920. Now prepare for me to nerd out. Those of you that know anything about the American space program know that this is called the Lunar Module, or LEM for short. And those of you that have been following along might remember that the color of the gas tank that I chose is called Lunar Rock. It's a modern Toyota color. So with Lunar Rock being the color of the tank, I thought it only fitting that the bike is named the LM920, or the LEM. Well, now that we named her, there's only one thing left to do, guys. Let's put some gas in it, fire it up, and see if we can get it running.
Let's try with no choke to start. It was about to turn over. Let's give it a little choke. It's gonna kick right over, watch. Oh my gosh, guys. I can't believe it kicked over that easily. That is insane. I mean, did you hear that? That's insane. I mean, we had this engine completely apart. Every single thing on it has been replaced, right? From the ignition coil to the spark plug wires. A million different things could have gone wrong. And it just kicked right over. And it idles. And it revs. Oh, this is amazing. I mean, I can't believe it. I actually did it, you know? Oh, I mean, years in the making, guys. Oh, man. All right, well, it's not over yet, right? We have to tune in the carb, and then take it for a ride. Now, it's almost July here in Pennsylvania, and it has been raining for what feels like 2 weeks straight. It's humid as heck outside. I haven't even gotten a chance to ride this thing yet, so I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to wait for the first ride video. But trust me, I wanna get on this thing as much as you do. Hang in there, and I'll put it out as soon as I possibly can. For those of you that have followed along our Virago build from 1.5 years ago, thank you so much for watching this whole time. Look at it. We did it. I mean, man, this thing is sick, right? Oh, thanks for watching, guys.